Hello, this is Deborah with Black Education TV. Now, I have a story that I'm going to share. I'm going to get right into it. It was a Facebook Live video that was shared by a so-called black man who lives in Waterford, Michigan. Okay, it kind of grabbed me because the scenario that he was faced with was very similar to something that we went through here at our home, and also the fact that he is in Michigan. He lives in Michigan. Which is where my husband and I got married, where we lived a good portion of our lives. Okay, so I'm going to get right into this story, family. Apparently, a black man did a Facebook Live. He showed actually where there was a white guy broke into his house and tried to grab his daughter. Okay, he broke into this man's house and tried to grab his daughter. But I want to talk about some very interesting things that came out as he was doing this video, as this video was being recorded. Okay, his children were all around, and he's saying certain things in the video that just kind of grabbed me. And I want to highlight these things. For many of you, you won't be shocked by any of it, but I want to show you what is going on in this country for those of you who are still in La La Land, okay? This man is on top of this white man who broke into his house. He has him pinned down to keep him from doing any further damage, from hurting anyone in their family. They don't know if he has any weapons. And so he's on him. He's got his hands behind his back. And as he's being recorded, it looks like one of his other family members had the phone recording the incident. As he's being recorded, he's actually stating, he says, if something happens to me, if the police does something to me, I want you all to see what is going on. This man broke into my house, tried to grab my daughter, and I want you all to know that this is being recorded. This is what has taken place, and I'm holding him down until the police get here. This is what the guy is saying. Now, what I find very interesting about this is that we even have to do something like this, that we even have to protect ourselves in this way with recording, saying, look, I'm the victim here. This person broke into my house, tried to take my daughter, tried to harm my family. But I have to go on record, on video, so that people around the world can see what's taking place, so that Jethro, whom I'm pinning down on the floor, doesn't present some other scenario to the cops when they get here, or so that they don't see me holding this white man down and just open fire on me when they pull up to the scene. It's a shame that we have to do that, but that is the country we live in. That is the reality that we are faced with. Now, I wanted to point something out that really bothered me, but again, I am not surprised in any way, because this is how we have been dealt with in this country. We are in the land of our captivity. When one of the police officers first get there, she says to the black guy who is holding this criminal down who broke into their house, she says to him, "Get off of him so that I can talk to him." She didn't say get off of him so that I can arrest him. Now, for all the smart Alex who are going to say, well, why should he arrest him? They don't even know what's happening. They don't even know what's going on. They have to assess the situation before they just arrest him. We get those kind of comments, and I see them in other places as well, where when it comes to a so-called white person, they want you to assess the situation before you make any quick draw decisions, right? But when it comes to us, they're okay with them doing whatever they have to do within 2 seconds. Somebody on the scene has done lost their life, you see. But the fact that this man has to say, look, I'm the person who called you. This is my house. This man broke in on me. Don't shoot me. Don't hurt me. It speaks volumes of how this country has treated our people and continues to treat our people. Someone else shared a video on Facebook. They send it to us in messages. I guess certain videos they don't allow to stay before they take them down. I haven't figured out how to download a video that is sent to you in a message yet. So anyway, in this particular video, a white woman was pulled over by a police officer, and she's afraid. And she's saying, well, I don't want to do this, that, and the other. I'm afraid. And the police officer says to her, "Oh, but you're not black, though. We only shoot black people." He actually says this to her. And I guess his boss or his chief comes back and says that they don't agree with those statements that he's making or whatever, to cover their tails or whatever. But the statements he's made are not office policy or department policy or whatever. But he clearly said that, but you're not black, though. You're a white woman. We don't shoot white people. We shoot black people. It's like he told on the whole system. He explained why there are so many unarmed black people that end up dead just for no reason at all. But back to this story, the fact that this young man has to feel the need to make this explanation about what's going on so that he's not shot, the caller. He's not the one who's going to be shot. He's the one who called the police. He wants to make sure he's not going to be the one shot when this white man broke in. And what I found interesting is how the guy, as he was pinned down, the white guy, he is making demands, talking about what the so-and-so. And he was saying other things, making demands about what was being done to him. Are you serious? Now, my thing is this. Are you serious? You are in this man's house and you're asking him, is he serious because he got you pinned down? Now, by law, you can protect your house. You can protect your children. You can protect your family. But why is it that we as so-called black people have to question, man, if I do something to protect my family, if I do something to eliminate this threat on my daughter and on my household and on my family, if I defend my family by taking this person out, you have to wonder, are you going to go to jail? Because you know that did happen. Well, that's happened to several so-called black people. We know a pastor in Detroit who that happened to some 20 years ago. Man was raping his daughter, and this pastor came out and eliminated the threat. And guess who went to prison for 10 years? You see, the Most High, he sees all of this stuff, and folk think they're getting away with, you ain't getting away with nothing. You are not getting away with anything. This is disgusting that we have to concern ourselves with whether or not we're going to be arrested or shot or whatever just for calling for help to come and eliminate a threat. And this black guy has him pinned down, and the police officer seems like, oh, and let me tell you something else she did too. And I'm going to give you all the link to this. After she tells the black man to get off of this man so that they can talk to him, she sounds so calm. You didn't hear her saying, what are you doing on these people's property? You didn't hear any of that. Get off of him so that we can talk to him. And then the children that were filming everything, they were inside of the house, standing in their screen door. This police officer says, it's a female police officer. She tells them, you all get back in the house. They were in the house. And so they walked away with their phone, so you couldn't even hear everything. You could still hear, but you couldn't see. So they're protecting their criminal at this point. You all get back in the house. It's like, woman, they weren't out of the house. They were inside of the house and standing in the screen door recording. And that was your way of telling them you don't want to be recorded. So you see how they protect one another, how the system protects its criminals. This is ridiculous. It reminded me so much of what we experienced here at our house. And we shared this testimony a few years ago where it was a white man who was standing in our daughter's bedroom window, looking through a crack, looking through the curtain. And my husband came and he said, Deborah, that's what happened. But he said, Deborah, call the police. Call the police. And I'm like, what's going on? And then he said, Rebecca said there's a man at the window. And so he goes out to confront the guy. And I'm like, what? Call the police. I didn't know what was going on at first. I was in my room. You know, you can go back to the original video and see how I explained the story. But it was really frightening for me because I was at the point where you know how you are when you're pregnant and you get into the last months. I couldn't move as freely as I wanted to. And so all I know is my husband comes to the door and says, call the police. And then it wasn't until afterward that I found out a man was at the window looking in. And my heart just, I'm telling you, it dropped. When I got the police on the phone, my husband was out there. I can hear him yelling and just having an exchange with this guy. And I'm like, I want you to get back in here. I'm on the phone with the police. And they are asking me if my husband has a weapon. And so right away, I'm like, They want to know whether my husband has a weapon, not whether the criminal has one. They want to know if he has one. And so I said, interesting. And so at this point, I'm like, I need you all to just get here. At this point, we just need you all to get here. We need you all to get here. And so what ends up happening is they took the guy away. And when we asked what was going to become of him for being on our property, our whole yard is fenced in. So he opened the gate and he came in. He was at my baby's bedroom window, our daughter's bedroom window. So he made an effort to come in here. But at the time, they said because we did not have any no trespassing signs posted on our property, there was nothing they could do. Nothing they could do. And so you see how the law goes. You see how things go. We have to be careful. I'm begging my husband to come back in and not confront this guy, and not to confront him, but because I don't know if he has a weapon, I'm asking him to just come back in and wait for the police. And he's just out there arguing with this guy. And I'm like, okay, Abba Yah, help us, you see. And all of this sounded so very familiar to me as I'm listening to this guy, and he's trying to be careful. He doesn't want the police to get him for trying to protect his family. The story was all too familiar. All too familiar. And we always walk away feeling like absolutely nothing was done at all to help us. And so you see the situations we're faced with. The situations we are faced with are quite different than what others are faced with, where we have to think, do I make a quick draw McGraw decision that could separate me from my family? Or do I think this thing out? It's really sad. And the guy the whole time in the video, he was the whole time telling this man, look, I can kill you if I wanted to. But he has to think before he does that. He has to think, am I going to be separated from my family? Are they going to send me to prison for protecting my family? All I can say is, Abba Yah, we need your help. We need you now. You see, and I know some of you are not believers, but look at the situation that we're in. This has been our state for a very long time. You got to understand that something bigger than us is happening. If we were able to just get ourselves out of this situation, trust me, we would have, but we are not. There is a force that is keeping us here. The Most High has us under chastisement. This is why the so-called black community seems to be the worst worldwide, because we are under divine punishment. So now we need divine deliverance. And it's going to take repentance to bring us to that place. So, family, when you get a chance, take a look at the video. It was very alarming to look at. But hey, it is what it is. I may include it in this video. We'll see. Or I may just simply provide a link for you. Okay, with that, I'll say shalom. Bye.